And Christine with you on SportsCenter. Big losses by the Warriors last night. A game to the Rockets and star Jimmy Butler to an injury. He went down hard going for a rebound in the first quarter, landed right on his tailbone, and was in obvious pain. He stayed in the game briefly to shoot free throws, but then went to the locker room and did not return. For more on this story, we now welcome in NBA insider Charania. So what is the latest on what the Jimmy Butler's pelvic contusion?
Christine, so last night, Jimmy Butler was walking gingerly postgame. It was on his own power, but he was moving with discomfort, and he underwent x-rays in Houston. Those didn't provide a clear reading from my understanding, but he will undergo an MRI later today. There is clear concern with the Warriors about his health and the severity of this pelvic tailbone injury, because even with a deep contusion in that area, it typically leads to some extent of missed time and missed days, as Stephen Curry knows well. And so we'll see what the MRI shows today, later, and what the severity could be, the treatment level. But we saw from Jimmy Butler, his play in Game 2 when he was on the court with Game 1, and the impact it has on Stephen Curry. This is a team that's 25-8 with Jimmy Butler in the lineup and 25-27 without him. It is night and day for the Warriors. So if they're without him for any period of time, they're really looking at a bleak playoff series here with Houston.
Yeah, that's a rough one. Butler has missed just one game with the Warriors since being traded to Golden State. That happened back in February. Another thing that happened last night, Jason Tatum did not play in the Celtics' 109-100 Game 2 win over the Orlando Magic due to that wrist injury that he suffered in Game 1 of the series. So how is Boston handling his injury moving forward?
So it's essentially a bone bruise right on the very tip of his wrist, and that injury has provided him pain and discomfort, and the Celtics are operating like this is a day-to-day pain tolerance injury, something that he's going to continue to get treatment on and try to work through over the coming days. And right now it is painful for Jason Tatum, and all of these bone bruises, they heal differently. It just takes a matter of time. But what that Game 2 win did is buy him some time, buy the Celtics some time to be patient with him. And so if he has to miss another game or two, them feeling comfortable, because we saw Jaylen Brown, the way he was able to step up, and this is a full team. They have arguably the best roster in the league, Christine. So even without Jason Tatum in this series, they should be able to manage at least a game or two more, potentially.
Okay, so the Celtics, they're 9-2 without J-Tay this season. But I will say both of those losses did come against the Magic. So take with that what you will. Before we let you go, you have some news from Milwaukee. What more can you tell us about that?
Sources tell me the Bucks and general manager John Horst have reached an agreement on a multi-year contract extension. His contract was potentially expiring very soon, but the Bucks ownership and Horst's agent Brian Elfis reached agreement on a new multi-year deal for the next few seasons that keeps him at the helm of decision-making. And this has been a successful run overall for John Horst. In all of his 8 seasons, they have been a playoff team. They've had the second best win percentage in the league during his 8 seasons as general manager. He's made some big acquisitions. Drew Holiday, Damian Lillard, hiring Mike Budenholzer. But this summer, he's going to be at the helm of what could be some hard conversations and decisions. We know Giannis Antetokounmpo. He wants to win and he wants to compete at a very high level. So John Horst being there long-term, he will be the one to have these hard conversations with Giannis Antetokounmpo, potentially, depending on how this series goes.
All right, great news.
The Warriors lost to the Rockets last night. Big reason why was Jimmy Butler falling down hard in the first quarter, and he did not return. He was diagnosed with a pelvic contusion, scheduled for an MRI today. And so here's Stephen A. and the First Take crew talking about the Warriors' outlook right now. Here's First Take, Last Take.
Here's what I would tell you if Butler was going. Even if Golden State did get past the first round, you going home next round. I mean, you ain't winning. You ain't beating the Lakers or Minnesota without Jimmy Butler if you're the Golden State Warriors. That I would tell you. With Jimmy Butler, you could be going to the conference finals. Without him, you could go home in the first round, but you definitely be going home in the semifinals.
There's 2 reasons that you think, oh, goodness, this is bad. One, if Jimmy Butler is out, they have traded away anybody that would have been able to potentially step in, right? And so you're literally looking at a depleted roster. Second, and we saw this last night, the Rockets' defense has the type of athletes, has the scheme that they can really make life difficult on Stephen Curry. And without a true creator in Jimmy Butler, like, that load is just going to be so persistent and consistent.
Jimmy Butler being able to walk off the basketball court, he's just a guy. I mean, the worst case scenario is that I see him missing Game 3. That's the worst case scenario. I can't see him being out longer than that. Not Jimmy Butler.
Well, we'll find out later today exactly what is going on with Jimmy Butler after that MRI. Now, the Warriors defense has experienced a significant drop-off when Butler is off the court this series. Golden State has outscored the Rockets by 7 points with him playing over the first 2 games, but has been outscored by 12 when it doesn't have its top deadline acquisition in Jimmy Butler. What about the Celtics and their big man, Kristaps Porzingis? He did his best professional wrestler impression last night. He took an elbow to the forehead from the Magic's Golga Fataze. That brought immediate and prolific blood. The wound required 5 stitches, but then Porzingis returned to the game. He kept playing, said he loves his WWE moments. So does Joe Mazzulla.
Yeah, I do. I love watching him. I like watching him bleed on the court. I think it's important. And then he comes back in and does his job. So I do like that about him.
See, now I thought Mazzulla was going to go on and on about how much he likes jiu-jitsu and the toughness of it. But nonetheless, he's like, hey, this is like a hockey game. Took some stitches, came back in the game, and nothing but a thing. Good for Porzingis.
We call Porzingis a unicorn. Now he can have like a little horn coming out of his head. It's perfect. All right, let's go.
It's goodness gracious, Jalen Green had himself an evening. Houston wins 109-94. Jimmy Butler is the story we're probably going to start with here, but I just want to mention that Green finished with 38 points. Şengün finished with 17. Tari Eason had 14 off the bench, and Steph with 20. The win is great, but the Jimmy Butler at all for Golden State is an issue. He left the game, was not able to return. Here's where we're going to get a little bit weird. Was this... Talk to me about what you're seeing here. Golly, that looks way worse when you watch it over and over again.
I see a freak accident.
Yeah, I don't think this is dirty at all. I think this is both guys kind of a loose ball here. No one is pushing anybody into the person on purpose. Obviously, Thompson's just kind of, they're flailing around here, and he's trying to go get his offensive rebound. Draymond kind of grabs him. I hate the narrative that this is dirty on either of their parts, on Draymond's or Thompson's. This is just like Boogie just said, this is kind of a freak accident play where they just clipped his heel, and hopefully he's okay. Obviously, he's getting MRIs and stuff, so I don't think anything's going to be broken or fractured or anything serious, but he is going to be violently sore for a while.
Yes, that bruised tailbone, anything of that nature, that's always a very, very sensitive injury. It definitely takes some time to get over an injury like that. You know, not wishing that on Jimmy. Hopefully I'm completely wrong and, you know, the results come back completely opposite. But, you know, wish him health, wish him a speedy recovery. But it's definitely a big blow to the Warriors.
I mean, it's a huge blow because since the trade deadline, that's been the story, right? Jimmy got there and Golden State turned things around, and immediately you just sort of felt like, uh-oh, what is this going to look like? If he does have to miss multiple games, how much trouble are they in?
It's not great. We can see the difference, how much better of a team this is with Jimmy in the lineup. Offensively, just creating a little more separation, a little more second option for Steph Curry to not get guarded the way he usually gets guarded. And Udoka even said that afterwards. He said, we can now, with Jimmy out, shift our focus back to solely on Steph Curry, basically. So that hurts them to not have that counter. It obviously hurts their defense. They had their third leading scorer all year long, Jonathan Kuminga, who has averaged 15 points, who's now finally going to get the opportunity. He got it last night. He didn't play in the play-in. He didn't play in the first 2 games, or the last couple of games. So you have to insert him now and let him do the things that he does, because you're missing a lot of production. You're missing a lot of athleticism, toughness, everything that Jimmy Butler brings. They're going to collectively have to find that somewhere else if he is out.
If he is out.
I don't know if he's going to be out. This is something I think he could just manage, right? It's like,
it's a pain thing. And they do have the extra day. There's 2 days. They have 2 days off in between.
That's great.
So
that's great for them.
A lot of ice, a lot of cold tub, a lot of massage. But I hope it's nothing serious.
Yeah, that